Questions arise as to the validity of the election, a mysterious third candidate appears, and Speaker Clement uses his power for unjust gain. It's all here in today's edition of the COTH Report.
Welcome to the COTH Report for Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. I'm Felicity Hornblower.
And I'm Beatrix Boffin.
The morning started off with a heated debate over air hockey tables and what song should be sung in the City on the Hill Assembly. Some Assembly members felt quite strongly about these decisions.
When debating whether the love song from a certain Ice Princess movie should make the list, one legislator was even quoted saying, quote, "It makes me want to throw up," unquote.
Things shifted in the late morning when both parties called a caucus to choose their candidates for the speakership.
After a close race, veteran Assemblyman Ian Clement was elected to be Speaker of the Assembly. However, despite his previous experience, Clement doesn't seem to understand that being Speaker is not all fun and games.
Throughout the session, Clement seemed confused and slightly disoriented.
First move is losing your binder.
Questions arose as to the validity of the election after an anonymous informant brought to our attention substantial evidence that the election results had been tampered with. Despite the observance of poll watchers, it seems that some are questioning whether the election was truly fair and free.
When questioned about these voter fraud claims, Clement's answers were obscure.
Do you believe in the integrity of this election?
I believe that I wasn't counting the votes. I wasn't even inside the room, so you might be asking the wrong person. Again, I wasn't even in the room. You're really asking the wrong guy here. But I don't know anything really about it. Again, I wasn't in the room. I didn't see it. I was outside of the room, so I probably am the worst person to ask about it. Again, I wasn't in the room. You two seem to know more about this than I do.
However, Assemblywoman Clemens, who ran against Speaker Clement early in the day, was more certain that the election was fraudulent.
I mean, with every election there's shady business, but I think this one especially, it's unfair. Something about it, I don't know, it was fishy. The tampering of votes, like that, of course, that can't be fair at all, you know?
If these rumors are indeed true, this is a sad day for the City on the Hill legislature.
We met up with our political commentator, Mr. Oliver Garrett, to get his opinion on the matter. Interesting. How so? Do you believe there could be some tampering with this election?
Oh, absolutely. I was watching the counting process. There were supposedly two people from each party that were also watching the counting process. They seemed to have some sort of discussion off to the side. And while that was happening, a lot of things seemed to be moving around. Votes being inserted, votes being taken out. And when they got back, they actually witnessed, the people that were supposed to witness the count saw a lot of that happening and didn't really say anything. It seemed like they wanted to speak up, but they definitely didn't say anything at all and just seemed to allow seemingly, in what my opinion was election fraud, happen right in front of their eyes.
There was also some confusion over the fact that multiple votes were thrown out, including votes for an unknown candidate by the name of ER.
As of now, the identity of this candidate is unknown, although the governor was spotted rubbing elbows with a suspicious character later in the day, sparking reports that this could be the elusive ER.
Is this part of some secret plan of the governor's to gain constitutionalist victory?
Shady business continued throughout the day, with Speaker Clement colluding with members of the Patriot and the Constitutionalist Party Executive Board. Shortly after being elected, Clement convinced both parties to transfer the entirety of their funds into his own personal account.
The Speaker seemed to be following in the footsteps of a certain former assemblyman who, during the last legislative session, transferred the entirety of the Patriots Party's funds into his own personal account.
Never before in City on the Hill history has an assembly member been guilty of crimes so heinous. But what can you expect from one who so clearly stated his selfish ambitions earlier today?
I want to keep my intentions perfectly clear. That toy thing with the rings, that looked really fun. And I am really looking forward to, hopefully, with your help, being able to play with that. Yeah.
Reports are still coming in as to who exactly is involved in this scandal, but it's safe to say that members of both parties' executive boards are involved. Further investigation is now underway.
Mr. Garrett also mentioned that he has failed to see the Constitutionalists step up their game since yesterday afternoon.
Well, it'll actually be interesting to see if the constitutionalists will, grow a spine and actually do something about this.
But as things continue to unfold with Speaker Clement and the scandal of the Patriot Party, the time may be ripe for a constitutionalist power grab.
Thank you for tuning in to today's edition of the COTH Report.
Your unbiased news source.